Hello, welcome to Bogan Intel. Today we have a bit of a special episode, potentially a format that we might be looking to do a little bit more moving forward. But I recently had a chance to talk to Chris Hedges, legendary Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who was recently in the country to deliver a talk for the Edward Said Memorial Lecture, as well as a scheduled series of talks around the country, including the National Press Club in Canberra, the latter being cancelled by the administrators of the event with little explanation. Caused some controversy in the country, as many people were looking forward to hearing Chris deliver his talk about the plight of journalists in Gaza. I had an opportunity to ask Chris about a concept called anomie, which he has written and spoken about. Anomie is a concept coined by French sociologist Emile Durkheim. This concept, anomie, is about the breakdown of social bonds and community that hold society together. Due to the neglect of power, corruption, and a society on the decline, populations start committing acts of self destruction. So, with no further ado, let's hear Chris explain it himself.
I've been writing because of you, so I just couldn't pass this up, mate. During the lockdown and pandemic, I started writing based on some of your lectures. And I wanted to speak to you about American anomie, essentially that concept of anomie through Emile Durkheim
Yeah.
and that pathological state of despair, and to speak to you about how that pervasive pathology brings down empires.
Yeah. So I wrote a book called America, the Farewell Tour. And it came out of Durkheim, Emile Durkheim, the sociologist, who wrote a book on suicide in, I think it was 1898 or 1896. And Durkheim asked the question, what is it that drives both individuals and societies to carry out acts of self-annihilation? And that's where he came up with the term anomie. But what he targeted was what he called the rupture of social bonds. What are social bonds? It's work, it's a sense of place within the society, it's an income that gives people a certain amount of autonomy and dignity. It's hope, not only for the future with some form of meritocracy, but also for your children. When all of that is gone, then you fall into what Durkheim calls a state of anomie. And he said, I think quite presciently, and this really informed my book, is that anomie drives people to carry out acts of self-annihilation. And so in my book, I long argued in Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt, The Death of Liberal Class, Empire of Illusion, The End of Literacy and the Triumph of Spectacle, American Fascists, The Christian Right and the War in America. I'd already written about the decay. And I wanted in this book to write about the consequences of the decay. So the chapters are on all of that self-destructive behavior that defines American society. That's addictions. I mean, we have 100,000 opioid overdoses, deaths a year, gambling, alcoholism, suicide, sexual sadism, which is very much a part of the culture. We're a pornified culture. I went out to San Francisco to a place called kink.com. It's a BDSM place where you can online pay money and watch people. You can demand things be done to women, including waterboarding. And there's a chapter on the Three Percenters, which is a fascist movement composed of veterans, because Durkheim writes that those who seek the annihilation of others are driven by longings for self-annihilation. Um, and and so diseased societies always are always fall, or large segments of the population fall into these self-destructive acts because the social bonds have been ruptured and because they're in a state of anomie.
Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thanks for sticking around. And if you want to see more things like this, including special interviews with people like Chris, please tune in and subscribe and like on the channel. It does a lot to help promote us through this algorithmic soup. So thanks again. Appreciate your time and see you soon.